Hey there, Reverend Sully, Eric O'Sullivan, ordained on the internet. The caveat, as always, please do not burn your hands holding on to my hot takes. If you do, well, that's on you, pal. I'm gonna gush for a couple of minutes here. I grew up with UHF TV. That was an antediluvian entertainment medium where we would receive free entertainment via the airwaves and onto a box called a television through antennae on the back. And I have to do this every once to avoid the copyright strike. This was part of the fare that I witnessed growing up. It's called the World War II war movie, and this is the 1970 World War II movie Kelly's Heroes, starring Clint Eastwood, Telly Savalas, Donald Sutherland, Don Rickles, and a whole big cast of misfits in the army. And it's a really interesting story. It's about some GIs at the end of World War II. Remember, the U.S. did not enter World War II in Europe until V-Day in 1944, and that was near the end. Now, we were in Africa and in the Pacific, but basically, it's the end of the war. And the U.S. are encroaching through France, trying to, push the Germans back on the front. And Clint Eastwood finds a German officer that he convinces to give him information, where he finds that there's a bank 30 miles behind enemy lines that has millions and millions of dollars of German gold. And so it becomes a caper movie where Clint Eastwood convinces this ragtag team of Telly Savalas, of Donald Sutherland, and of Don Rickles, and an entire squad of army men to go and get the German gold. And I just gotta say that with the music, the practical effects, and, me considering myself a pacifist after all these years, that I thought I'd be beyond violence in the war movie and shoot 'em ups, and I gotta say no. This movie is got it going on. It made me feel good to be an American. It made me feel good to be a man. This movie contains a proper amount of what most people would say today as toxic masculinity. No, it's got just downright awesome American masculinity with a few different archetypes. We have three major heroes. We have the cool guy, Clint Eastwood. We have the hothead, the steely leader, the sergeant, and Telly Savalas. And we have the hippy-dippy peacenik almost of Donald Sutherland, who's balanced with Gavin MacLeod, his tank driver. Don't harsh me with all your negative waves so early in the morning, man. It's just comic gold. And just the end scene where you see Donald Sutherland, Telly Savalas, and Clint Eastwood facing off against a German tank, walking down the street, evocative of the Western movies that dominated the movie scene in the 60s. And that what gave Clint Eastwood his fame and notoriety as an actor. And just, it exudes this masculinity that, that I grew up on, and that's actively trying to be erased in this day and age. And I think that this was such a great movie to watch, and just it made me feel great watching this movie, a war movie. It was clever. It was funny. It insulted all the right people, I guess. It there was the military buffoonery of the high command, the the kind of what's it all for that the GIs, that the army, soldiers think. What's in it for us? Well, they make something about it. They do something about it, about their sacrifice, about the losses of their friends and brothers. They decide to go steal that gold and keep it to themselves. And they get away with it. So it's morally ambiguous. And I gotta say, it just made me feel great watching this movie. It made me feel so good to be an American. I haven't felt that way in a long time. I really think this is just my opinion. America has its enemies out there. And these people would have an advantage if they were to break up our union and to split up Americans as a culture and as an identity. I would totally define today as there is a commie plot to weaken our country, and it's working. Will they win? No. There will be a backlash. There will. That's only inevitable. That's how culture goes. It ebbs and flows. It's like a great sea. But this movie and movies like it. I also watched Where Eagles Dare, another Clint Eastwood late 60s Army movie. And it's got me on this kick that I want to watch these movies that, make me feel good. It makes me feel good to be a man. It makes me feel good to be an American. You know what? This movie fails the Bechdel test, and God bless it. I'm sick of that shit. I really am. I just can't stand activism and agenda, and it's everywhere in modern entertainment. So guess where I take my refuge? I take my refuge in the past, in these awesome movies of yesteryear. We have a bad self-esteem as a culture and as a country. You know why? Because there is a commie plot, and they're shameless. There are Marxists out there, and they admit it, and it's and it's pretty. They live transparently. Guess what? If you buy that stuff, then you are stuck with the buyer's remorse. I reject it. I don't buy any of that BS. I grew up in the South Boston projects. I've seen needy people all my life trying to angle for to get over on you. Seriously, the need never stops. What happened to will to power? It's still out there, and it's out there for you to grab, or for you to let slip by. It's out there. Well, that's all I got to say for today about Kelly's Heroes. It's a wonderful war movie. It's a war movie. It's about punching Nazis for real. There were literal Nazis at one time, and they were evil. They tried to take over the world, and they tried to commit genocide. And who was there to stop them? Well, it was America. People like Captain America. These old hero archetypes and these old sense of masculinity that's actively trying to be destroyed this day. You know what? As I like to say, Cui Bono. Who profits from this? Somebody is, or somebody's trying to, and somebody's trying to sell you on the notion that America is a bad place full of bad people and that masculinity is toxic. I don't believe that. Shit, I've sobered up and stopped smoking weed. My testosterone level came raging back. I got two balls and I know how to use them. Come and get me. I mean, seriously, I'm not falling for this mamby-pamby bullshit. It's literally weakening our country. And I'm not having it. And neither should you. There's 194 countries recognized by the UN in this world. And apparently only 191 of them have the self-determination to care about their borders and their culture and all that stuff. America is a great melting pot. And our culture is a fondue pot of all these different blends of different people. And that's our strength. But for someone to sell you on the notion that America's bad, well, it's still the best country in the world. That's why people still flock here for the opportunities. It's true. I mean, seriously, look at the border itself. It's porous for a reason. I mean, because people still flock here. They're not escaping America. They're coming here still from their tyrant nations and from their poor nations. And, that's about it. So you want to feel good about being an American? Go watch an old war movie where you see actual Nazis, well, people playing Nazis, suffer their simulated consequences for their evil. It will make you feel good again. And if you're a man feeling down on their luck, like what happened to the masculinity in this country, well, maybe it's time to check in with yourself and do yourself a self-exam. Grab onto your nuts, turn your head, cough, and it's nothing to sneeze at. So, you know what? Give me a thumbs up if you like this kind of material. Give me a thumbs down if you disapprove of my toxic masculinity and my, my pro-American thing. Oh, you're just bad, naughty person. Yeah, you're damn right I am. That's what your mother said. And leave a comment in the comments section, and give me a subscribe if you like this kind of content. I try to make positive material about pop culture. I go on an occasional rant here and there. That's only balance. An ordained minister, a spiritual person, an amateur theologian. And so I make the Sunday sermon with Reverend Sully. And also, I'm a restaurant chef. I want to give you cooking hacks to make your home cooking better, more delicious, more nutritious, and more beautiful so you can impress your loved ones at your table when you sit down to eat. God bless you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And you know what? Remasculize yourself, for God's sakes, and for the country as well, because we need real men. And you know who need real men? Women. They love real men. And because there is a balance of life, we need everyone. And we need everyone feeling good about themselves to be a healthy country. We can't be, disenfranchising people just to make yourselves feel better. It doesn't work like that. We can elevate everyone. Oh, turkey's done. I better go get that. Well, you have a great day, and cheers, and have a great day. God bless.